What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Welcome, everyone. So, before I get into everything that is Wrestling with Rumors, like I say on every episode, every rumor that I am about to read is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We speculate as wildly as we want, but until they are proven true, fact, we see it happening on TV. They remain what they are, rumors that we can speculate as wildly as we want, like we're playing WWE 2K. But with that, let's get into a new episode that is Wrestling with Rumors. All right, so for what it's worth, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio that Tony Khan doesn't want to use wrestlers he knows are going to WWE. There's also speculation that could be why David Finlay has disappeared from AEW television. This is messed up. This would be saying the same thing about someone who's a New Japan Pro Wrestler, or someone who's in New Japan Pro Wrestling, or someone who's in TNA, or someone who's even in WWE that wants to go to the other promotion, and then that particular promotion doesn't want to hire you or use you because you want to go somewhere else. That feels like tribalism in a way. I mean, I could be wrong. If you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But it feels like it feeds into that tribalism thing that if you're in AEW, then you can't go anywhere else. That's how it sounds like it's coming off from this, from what Dave Meltzer is saying about what Tony Khan doesn't want to use wrestlers that he knows are going to WWE. So what? The dream for a lot of these wrestlers before there was even an AEW was WWE. That was considered the Mecca, the end all be all, the big time, all of that. That's like the top. And then because when you're in WWE, the thought of being in a Royal Rumble, in a WrestleMania, in a Survivor Series, in a SummerSlam, to be a part of these events that have history to them, so much history to them, especially WrestleMania. I mean, to be a part of WrestleMania, at first just to be on the show, and then eventually wanting to have that main event spot on WrestleMania, but to be a part of WrestleMania, to be in that squared circle, that is the dream for a lot of these men and women who are pro wrestlers. But the beautiful thing is that now that doesn't have to be the case anymore. If you get on TV through AEW or TNA or New Japan Pro Wrestling or even WWE, and with WWE you have NXT, you have Evolve on Tubi, there are ways. So, pardon me. So when I'm basically, this feels like tribalism on Tony Khan's part of not wanting to use wrestlers he knows are going to WWE. So effing what? You can't, if you're on AEW and you're getting spotted on TV and you're getting some time, you're getting the experience, you're understanding how everything works. And to have that dream still to go to WWE, start in NXT and then work your way up to the main roster, there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like it's like if you want to it feels like going to AEW means you're just AEW. You can't have any dreams of wanting to go to WWE one day. That's what it sounds like. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. But if it's true, and that's what Tony Khan thinks, that's hella messed up. That's some tribalism right there for you. But hopefully this is what it is, a rumor. But I move on. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez said WWE is purposely teasing AEW stars possibly appearing in the John Cena Last Time Is Now tournament. That's apparently part of the reason behind his language regarding wrestlers who don't currently work for the company being in the tournament. So for this, a good tease that it could be AEW stars is always fun. I mean, the possibility that it would have been Adam Copeland that would have come back to WWE to have a match with John Cena was there as well. But it's not going to be anyone from AEW, especially from the last rumor that I just read. It's not going to be anyone from AEW, from people who don't work here. That is going to be anyone. That is definitely going to be the partnerships that WWE has, possibly with anyone from Japan, not New Japan Pro Wrestling, but anyone who works within the pro wrestling circuit from there possibly. But I think mostly those from TNA, like picking people who were current WWE superstars who now are TNA superstars, possibly from TNA, like a possible formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, possibly a Joe Hendry could come. But anyone who doesn't work within the WWE, within WWE, when he's talking about that, it's definitely coming from those from TNA. Absolutely. I could be wrong. It would be a surprise if we all of a sudden we saw Christian Cage, or if we did see Adam Copeland, if we did see someone from AEW. But it's not going to be anyone from AEW. I can sit here confidently and say it's not going to be anyone from AEW, but definitely people from TNA. Absolutely. F4W Online's Brian Alvarez said AEW recently moved all of its storage items from Florida to Nashville. As a result of the move, there is no longer a training ring in Florida, which is where injured wrestlers would go to work out and try to get cleared. Alvarez is not sure what the plan is now in that regard. I think a lot of these wrestlers who are trying to get cleared, since they can't go to Florida anymore, they probably go to people that they know who have a ring that they could train in to get themselves cleared again. There's Cody Rhodes, his Nightmare Factory. That has nothing to do with WWE. Seth Rollins has his own wrestling place that I'm sure he would let people that he knows who work in AEW could go and train to get themselves clear again. Edge has his own ring, so absolutely he could do the same there. So there are people out there that pro wrestlers are friends with that have rings that they could go to and train to get themselves cleared and get themselves back into the ring. So it's not the end for it. It's just as far as what AEW does, as far as having a place for AEW wrestlers to go and train and get cleared, a facility like that, something like what the Performance Center is, that AEW doesn't have that. At least not now. Now that they moved everything out of Florida. So what that looks like, what they want to do, I have heard possibilities of AEW wanting to have some kind of Performance Center, which would be great for AEW, wrestlers. But as far as now, that doesn't look like to be the case. It feels like it's just kind of everything's in storage in Nashville. And what comes next is one of those have to wait and see. To be in the room where it happens, right? Couple of things I want to touch on before I call it a week on this, before I call it for this week's episode of Wrestling with Rumors. First, let's start with Jade Cargill, new WWE Women's Champion. I gotta tell you, Saturday night's main event, I was ecstatic to see Jade Cargill become the new WWE Women's Champion. Pure dominance in that match. I know Tiffany Stratton was injured. She had to drop the title because of the knee, and she's going to be gone for a while. But to see that dominant side of Jade Cargill and then just take what is hers. That WWE Women's Championship is great, and to see this new attitude now from Jade Cargill that we saw on SmackDown this past Friday, and how she's saying she's that bitch. Damn. And then this Friday she's got a match with B-Fab, because B-Fab was and Jade Cargill's mindset was running her mouth a little bit. So Jade Cargill's going to handle that with B-Fab. That'll be a fun match to watch this coming Friday. So I think as far as who Jade Cargill will face for that WWE Women's Championship, I really want to say Bianca Belair. She's expected to be back in early 2026, but there is a chance that she could be back before then. I think she'll be. I think she will be back in the very early stages of 2026. I think that will be one of Jade Cargill's first defenses for that title. There's history there. It's not bad history, because when there was that whole triangle thing going on, when we found out Naomi was the one who attacked Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill's beef had nothing to do with Bianca Belair. It was all on Naomi, and that got handled, right? So, but the history that these two have, the respect these two have, and how Jade Cargill has just gone full heel, this will be a fun heel versus babyface kind of match. The history there and how things have changed and how Jade Cargill could flip things on Bianca, that'll be fun. It feels like, although it does feel like Jade Cargill's first match could possibly be against Charlotte Flair, because of that little thing that they had going on. But that could just be the beginning of something. It doesn't have to be her first title match. I think Jade Cargill's first title defense should be a successful one, and she should have a couple successful title runs under her belt. But I think one of those title defenses, there's Bianca Belair for sure, and then Charlotte Flair, absolutely. Those are the two that I see very soon happening, and the scenes planet for that Charlotte Flair one feels like it's up and running. How things almost got a little heated on this past Friday on SmackDown when Flair was making her entrance to the ring to go on to face Nia Jax. And speaking of that, Lash Legend now on SmackDown. Hell yes. And teaming up with Nia Jax. That match they had on NXT was killer, right? They went to it. It was just two women just kicking each other's asses. Just had a fantastic match on NXT. Nia Jax won that match, but there's some respect that came at the end of that match for Nia Jax to Lash Legend, which brings this partnership together with this respect and know the kind of pain they can bring to each other and now towards everyone else. So there's another tag team formed. You got the Kabuki Warriors also. So there are teams gunning, some serious powerhouse teams gunning for Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and that's going to be fun to see how that all fades out in these last 2 months going into 2026 goes. Now, one last thing I want to touch on, John Cena. Now, it is Sunday, so obviously we got Monday Night Raw coming up, and we're going to see John Cena on Monday Night Raw. The Last Time Is Now tournament will begin on Monday Night Raw, but we know when we get to December 13th, we know that's John Cena's last match, and we'll know who John Cena's last opponent will be. It'll more than likely be Gunther, as all the rumors have said. We'll see if that comes true. But my curiosity, little guy, sorry. But my curiosity, it lies with Survivor Series. Now, I am very curious. We are like a couple of weeks out from Survivor Series, and I'm wondering, there are two things that I'm wondering. A, is John Cena going to have a match at Survivor Series? And two, if he does, who will it be against? Now, there has been rumors and speculations that John Cena was going to face Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship, which then would lead to the winner of that tournament facing John Cena, obviously, for that Intercontinental Championship. But last week on Raw, we saw Rey Mysterio return and get up in his son, Dominic Mysterio's face, and that started to begin. Now, it is possible. Now, there are 2 title matches right there that Rey Mysterio could have. It could either be for the Intercontinental Championship or it could be for the AAA Mega Championship. Now, I believe that the AAA Mega Championship is a championship that Rey Mysterio has never won. So, I believe that Rey Mysterio would more than likely have a match against his son Dominic Mysterio for the AAA Mega Championship. Whether it's part of a Worlds Collide event that could take place, Worlds Collide event or some kind of AAA event that would happen, or the AAA Mega Championship would be a championship that would be put on the line at Survivor Series. That is generally possible. That could happen there. Or Rey Mysterio having a match against Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. That is possible too. Now, I could keep John Cena, in the whole speculating of things, we could keep John Cena in there and say that Rey Mysterio Dominic Mysterio is going to work double duty that night at Survivor Series, and he's going to face his father, Rey Mysterio, for the AAA Mega Championship, and then John Cena for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's very well possible, especially for Dominic Mysterio. He could do it. But I don't think it'll go that way. I feel that when we get to Survivor Series, that it will be Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, and I'm leaning more towards the AAA Mega Championship than the Intercontinental Championship. I feel the Intercontinental Championship, he'll hold on to that. That AAA Mega Championship is the one that will be put on the line against Rey Mysterio. Is what I am speculating in that. As far as what things look like for John Cena at Survivor Series, I really hope there is some kind of answer to that question this coming Monday on Raw. We will see. But until then, I am Anthony K. Thomas. This has been Wrestling with Rumors. I appreciate all of you for watching, for listening. I hope all you have a good, fun, and safe week. Don't forget to take care of yourselves. I will see you on the next one. Peace, y'all.